Hello, good evening, everybody.
Hello again.
Welcome back again. The games are coming thick and fast.
What should we say?
Yeah.
Favorite time of year?
Yeah, the week 21, is it? Are we in?
I've lost track.
I think
They're
so.
in the they're in the return leg. So most have played over half their games.
Okay. So, and we've got a big one to start off. Liverpool at home to Chelsea.
It's one of those that whoever loses this game, I think, can kiss their top four chances goodbye. Not only just it'll set them back. Both teams have had wins in the last week to kind of try and say, oh, we've turned the corner.
Yeah.
They can't both turn corners here unless a draw is kind of unsatisfying for both of them.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I can't see where the goals are coming from Chelsea, but then again, if any team will give them chances, it's Liverpool with their defence.
Yeah.
Liverpool can score goals, but can't stop conceding them.
Yeah, there seems to be a disconnect between the defence and the midfield, which was always very solid before.
Too many, either too many miles on the legs, years on the clock, whatever. I think it's been well established by people that midfield needs an overhaul.
It isn't an easy fix.
It's not an easy fix, and it's not something that we can fix even this season, but maybe we're going back, like the possession we had against Wolves was one of our lowest possession.
Okay, so maybe.
So I think they're kind of saying, look, we can't hold on to this possession and tippy tap because we don't have the legs anymore to go up and down. And so they're, maybe this is what he's saying. We have to really analyse it and maybe change our game style to suit our current situation.
And more gegenpressing.
Because they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Or we're not doing it effectively. Yeah. So there's no point in talking about the gegenpressing. Anyway, to go with the result, heart as much as head, I am going to think home advantage should spur them on. Won't say will, should. And I would see a tough fought 1-0 victory there for Liverpool. Could easily be 0-0 or could go the other way.
Yeah,
it would be low scoring.
Yeah, Chelsea, not the best away from home. They've winless in the last 5. They've only won 2 of the last 10 games. They brought in João Felix. He obviously will probably be missing.
He's going to be missing after the red cards.
But they've stolen that guy Murdick from Arsenal. The man just came in and said, here's the cash out as much as you want.
Yeah, well, again, that kind of haphazard.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, how are they going to get through the financial fair play at the end of the season? I wonder.
Yeah, I still have this doubt about this guy Bowley. He's a baseball guy. Baseball and football so very different, but he seems to be thinking, I know baseball. I can be successful in this as well too. He should just kind of stand back a little bit and let other people maybe get on with the football business. But I think internally it's not great for Chelsea. No. And also this guy coming in is going to upset the dressing room with salary and wages and stuff,
Yeah, you look at it and you see Sterling, they're talking they might offload him at the end of the season. Things are not good after paying 80-something million for him.
You can't just, buy players and just stick them in. There has to be a plan. Yeah. There has to be a reason why they bring them in. And
scattergun approach.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a draw on this one.
Okay, that would be a sensible prediction. Okay, let's move it on.
Okay, we have a Bournemouth at home to Nottingham Forest.
I would have said Nottingham Forest to win because they're a form team and Bournemouth are the opposite.
Yeah.
However, what makes me pause is Henderson has gotten a bit of an injury.
Okay.
And when you're struggling and your keeper, who's such an important player, because obviously he gets a lot of attention when you're down there, is out, it's a lot to ask for your sub-keeper. He's not going to be of the quality of, say, the Arsenals and the Liverpools and the Man City's sub-keeper. That'll give Bournemouth a chance where they haven't. I wouldn't have given them a chance up to now. So I'm going to say Bournemouth might get a victory here. I'm going to go with a Bournemouth victory because of that.
Yeah, badly need it. I'm going to go for a Forest win. I think Forest are on a little bit of a crest at the moment.
They're out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, they're into the League Cup semi-final. They've also, in the last 5 games, they've scored 6 and conceded 6. So they're getting a bit more defence, a little bit sorted out. They've won their last 2 Premier League games. Okay,
they have.
And when they played the last relegation team against Southampton away from home, they beat them.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's no team maybe worse than Bournemouth.
In current form, they're among the worst.
They're among the worst. Yeah, there's a few others we'll come to later. But
they know who they are.
They've lost their last 4 games 9-0. They haven't scored.
Yeah, they don't know how to even shoot anymore.
Yeah. So just on current form, I'm going to go for Forest to win on this one.
They're lucky to have the 0.
Okay.
Right. Here we go. So anyway.
Then we have Leicester at home to Brighton. Leicester, talk about teams in relegation trouble. They're too good to go down. Well, like Forest, Southampton, these teams are going upward move.
Yeah,
Leicester are just going down.
You've got 3 established, what I'd call established Premiership teams in West Ham, Everton, and Leicester.
Yeah.
Are all down there and are in serious trouble.
Yeah.
You look at the squad and you said he shouldn't be there, and there's certainly teams ahead of him that look far weaker in terms of a squad, but it's what the guys are doing on the field. And I don't think there's going to be any let up. Brighton, I predicted they'd beat Liverpool, and my God, they did. And I'm going to predict Brighton to go on and do this again. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think Brighton again are on a positive trend. I think they're enjoying their football.
There's the talk like Trossard is on his way, and they don't need him. They're happy enough because of the style of play.
Yeah,
it's a team.
They beat Liverpool 3-0 without him, right?
Yeah.
They beat Everton 4-1 without him.
Absolutely.
So they've got a good squad now. Obviously, Potter has a lot to do with that.
Absolutely. But to that more attacking dynamism.
Definitely. He's kind of left him off the reins. He's left him
or given him a few ideas on how to unlock defences and things like that, and it's working.
Yeah, so exciting times.
Yeah, delighted for them. I think it'll continue for him. I think Leicester, it'll get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and Brighton are not afraid of going away. They're looking to win 4 consecutive away games. They've won their last 3 away.
Absolutely.
So not afraid. And Leicester just all over the place. We spoke about this before. Too many players looking to get out, move away. It's not good for the squad. And they've got that guy in the back. Whenever I see him with the long hair, I think David Luiz.
Oh, yes.
That's the player they brought in. And you don't want a player like David Luiz in your backline when you're trying to avoid relegation.
Yeah.
And this guy's quite similar to him, I think, in style.
That's just my agent was just giving a quick call.
Okay. We good for another season?
We're good. Yes. Sky Sports can have to wait.
Okay. Chris Sutton?
Yeah, you're okay for a while.
All right. So we both think Brighton to win that one. That leads us to a big game, Southampton at home to Aston Villa. Let me see the thing. I'm going to go for Villa on this one. They've won their last 2 away games. Southampton are on good form at the moment, right? They've won their last. They've lost their last 3 home games. They beat Everton. That was a big game for them, right? They beat Everton, and of course they beat Man City. That was in the cup, wasn't it?
It was in the cup. It was in the EFL Cup. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So they've been doing well away. They've got not well at home. They've the fewest home points, I think, at the moment, just 6 home points. So they don't play well at home.
No, that's them Southampton fans on their back.
Maybe
give them a break. Give them a break.
High standards, right?
Delusions of grandeur among them Southampton boys.
No goals after 2 minutes. They start booing.
Yeah. They're finished their Cornish pasty and they're ready to boo.
Okay, we jest.
No, I don't.
Okay. But I think Villa on this one, I think that they were upset in the cup, right? That was like a chastising for them. But I think Villa just will be better than Southampton on this one at home.
I think the management, I'm going to look at again Emery, and I think he likes these kind of games. He'll fancy he's putting his 11 against Southampton, and he'll certainly think, I'll catch these guys on the break.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. I think we get a win there for the away team. Villa,
the Villains. And Emery's kind of getting the best out of some players like Bailey is really shining. The other guy, the Argentinian guy, Buendia, is it? Is again players maybe who have been kind of said, look,
Yeah, well, I think that we heard enough reports about when Gerrard was there. A lack of clear direction.
And more an emphasis on negativity and on making sure you do your defence first. Every player has to defend first before you think about moving forward.
And so, as we've talked about it before, good players get into management. They have their ideas. They think, I've seen this guy do this and the other guy do that. I'll do a blend of that. without really knowing the fundamentals of the why. And like Emery's proven, he's a great manager. He's watched enough. He's got an analysis down to a T.
Exactly. Yeah. He's done well wherever he's gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
with one exception.
Exception maybe Arsenal, but there was problems there. We spoke about this before too with the players he had at that time.
Let's move it on.
We have West Ham at home to Everton. Another big relegation battle.
Huge relegation battle. And someone says it could be a 0-0 draw. I don't think either of them would be happy, but quietly probably they take it.
I disagree, because I think whoever loses this game will probably lose their job.
That's what I'm saying. A draw. They take a draw where they both survive another day. They might limp for another time.
I think that even if they,
of course they all want to win. But deep down, they really don't want to lose. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I agree. I think that both of them will be going all out to win. But even though
I think Everton will play more defensively.
I think it's no good for Lampard. I think even if a draw on this one, I think that only a win, I think, will save either of them. A draw, I think you could see both of them losing their jobs. But I still think that even though both of them will
could see both of them losing their jobs and maybe Everton hiring Moyes back then next week.
Oh my God.
Back to Everton, back where he began.
And Olivier Lampard will go to West Ham.
Yeah, well, again, he was a former West Ham boy.
That's true, actually, and his dad had a long career there.
Yeah, he started.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
with terrible decisions, though. I think
terrible elbows, shocking.
Yeah. Okay, but even though I think both of them want to win, I still think it'll be a draw.
I'm going to go for a West Ham win again. Just the home element.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, so then we have Palace at home to high-flying Newcastle.
This is one that I think you'll see a little hiccup by Newcastle. Palace got a fantastic draw against a high-flying Man United during the week.
What a free kick.
Okay, it was last minute, but they held their own, and there was only great saves by De Gea that had him it going to the last minute.
That's right. He made a great save in the first half.
Fantastic save before the United got a score, and again, it's amazing. Rashford couldn't stop scoring. I didn't see the game, but I was hearing a lot of Man United fans going, "Oh, Rashford was terrible."
Back to his
how quickly it can change.
Yeah.
And consistency is one thing a lot of those players don't have, and their tails are up fine. I think that anyway, back to Newcastle. I think Newcastle have done brilliantly. We all agree on that. Palace at home though are a tough.
Cameraman is fired.
Oh, golly, I take that phone call back. BBC, I go to you. Okay, yes, Palace at home. I'm always a fan of them. I'm going to go for a draw, an entertaining 1-1 draw.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. For this one, I'm going to go for Newcastle to grind out maybe a 1-0 win. Of course, Palace, they played on Thursday. Was it Thursday night or was it Thursday night or Wednesday night?
Maybe Wednesday night.
Yeah. Newcastle, their defence, we spoke about defence is excellent. They're not conceding, but they're finding it hard to score as well too. But I think that they'll be able to shut out Palace, and I think that they could maybe get a 1-0 win on this one. They've actually played each other twice already this season, in the league and in the return game, and they were both being 0-0 games. So maybe I expect a tight game as well.
Oh, indeed.
But Newcastle to nick it 1-0. Okay. Leeds at home to Brentford. Everyone is speaking about this guy, Nanto, the Italian guy, the little small guy.
I never heard of him, but there we go. Everyone's talking about him, apparently.
But they're talking about the scissors kick he scored against Cardiff in the cup, an amazing goal. And I've seen clips of him. He's a bundle of energy, Like he just drives with the ball, he causes problem, he makes things happen. He's a very exciting player to have on any team. But even with that, they're playing Brentford, who have won their last 3 Premier League games, unbeaten the last 7, won their last 2. So they've really hit the ground running since the World Cup. And Tony is on good form as well too.
Who would have bet on that?
And I can see him being picked up maybe by
by the police?
Top 16, a top 16. By a top 16 maybe come the end of the season, because He seems to be an all-round player. Leeds,
his age might go against them.
They've only won 2 of their. It's hard to imagine. They've only won 2 of their last 15 Premier League games.
Yeah,
and they've conceded the most goals. Conceded since last season to now, they've conceded the most goals, and only Leicester have dropped more from winning positions. So I just think that Brentford will just be on form. Will get the win on this one.
Yeah, I hear all that, and yes, I know I said I'm going to go with the teams on form, and definitely Brentford are one of them. But Leeds at home, I have a sneaking feeling they need the points. Their performance, even though they lost during the last week, Villa. Yeah, against Villa, was one of their better performances this season. They were really, so I think having the home advantage, if they play like that, I think that they'll turn it around and they could actually win this one 2-1.
Okay, all right, all right. That takes us on to Man City at home to Wolves. Now, interesting with Guardiola kind of chastising his home fans. And rightly so too. I mean, being booed off at halftime.
Well, now the booing, I mean, again, it's like, are they booing the team or are they booing the ref? A lot of the fans came out and afterwards and said, hold on a second, we were booing the ref for ridiculous decisions.
Yeah.
We were not booing our own team.
Okay.
I know when you hear the sound of boos at halftime, you're thinking, well, it's on us.
Well, there seems to be that there is a little bit of, there's no love lost between Guardiola and the home fans, because it's not the first time they've had an issue. Sometime there before, the chairman of the Supporters Trust came out against Guardiola, saying that fans are late because they have, for evening games, Champions League games, they have to come from work. And, Guardiola kind of couldn't really understand the logic. Well,
Guardiola looks at like the atmosphere that can be built up in Old Trafford, in Anfield, in European nights as well, and things like that, and it's something that the opposition fans from Man City have often thrown at him. You don't have that. I mean, Man City is one of the most passionate supporters you'll meet as a Manchester City fans, so I don't buy that. But something about the stadium doesn't quite get that electricity. Maybe it's too wide. I don't know. I haven't been there.
We'll have to get up the blueprints.
Yeah, I'd have to study it. And are they feeling a bit separated from the action, when it comes down push to shove?
Okay.
I think the kick up really is that he dropped De Bruyne, he dropped Foden from the starting lineup for that game for a big game against Spurs, and they came out on top.
The second half
again, you wouldn't want to be relying on Mahrez for every game, though.
Yes,
I'll tell you that. He was our man of the match.
Definitely, City don't have that focus, you think, that they had maybe like last season?
No. I think, again, the players we just mentioned, the Foden, De Bruyne, started all guns blazing. We're brilliant footballers, but haven't been consistent. And De Bruyne hasn't had a full consistent season for a while now.
Yeah, I guess that because they've won 4 out of 5 Premier Leagues,
it's hard to
the big one for them is a Champions League, isn't it?
But the thing is, it's hard to turn it on like a tap, and Guardiola knows that.
Yeah, well, that's Arsenal's advantage, right? Hopefully they can maybe...
Absolutely. I still think they'll win this one. They're at home, and I think they've the bit between their teeth now, because they go we can't lose anymore.
Yeah,
we have a target, and it is Arsenal. And we've still got to play them twice in the league, so that's an incentive too.
And that's what the players need. Maybe they need just that challenge.
Just to have the challenge or something different. Because last season they were 20 points clear at this time of the year.
Yeah. So exactly. So that might happen. I do agree that they'll win. Wolves, as good as they've been, might be a step too far from this time.
I think the FA Cup replay again, even though they just don't have the squad that City would have to rotate lads in and out.
I reckon Wolves will give them a good game. I think it could be close, maybe 1 goal difference. Maybe City to win 2-1. I'm thinking.
I think we'll get a few more from City. But anyway, both teams City win. Right. A small game. No, the big one. The small little matter.
Arsenal at home to Man United. Big thing, of course, United dropping 2 points in the last minute. That makes a huge difference in their...
For them. Again, their targets, it depends how ambitious they are.
And also then Casemiro getting booked.
Yeah, he's going to miss this game. That's a big loss.
So there's many reasons why, and Arsenal at home, so there's many reasons why you think United might not get through. Or win this game. There seems to be less reasons why Arsenal won't win. they're in the groove now at the moment. Every player is operating at like 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that Norwegian lad is having a great season.
Odegaard is, and they can just change their system. They're very fluid, you know. It's very hard to stop them because they just change it around. So I'm going to go for Arsenal to win this one, maybe 3-1, 2-1 at home.
I think they'll win as well. I think that the incentive, Arsenal have lost one game this season and it was away in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So you'll use that as a motivating tool.
Yeah.
As you say, I think Casemiro is a huge loss. He's really been central to their revival of United's formed season.
Yeah. And I wonder, will they take the same thing they had at Old Trafford, like sit back and try to get Arsenal on the break? I could see that happening again.
They're it's unrecognisable. The United that played Arsenal that time still were kind of limping from that, reeling from that
Arsenal
early
should have
season.
won that game. They shot themselves in the foot with that one. So we both think Arsenal will win.
Yes.
And go ahead further on.
Okay, last game.
Fulham at home to Spurs. Spurs again. I mean, what it must, after being 2 goals up, then to lose 4-2, just compounds the misery and the dissatisfaction
I think there's nearly acceptance.
Yeah, Son doesn't look happy at all.
No, Son.
Kane
don't recognise him as the player he was.
Yeah, the system maybe Conte is taking is not suiting the way they want to play. You know,
they're trying to accommodate Richarlison as well. That kind of added an extra dimension. You know, it's hard to fit on all these players and their what they want from a midfield.
Fulham, on the other hand, they've won their last 2 home games. They've won 4 in a row. They had won 4 in a row before they lost to Newcastle. Very enjoying to watch.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a good defence,
solid
midfield, scoring goals. I think Spurs will not want to go to Craven Cottage. I think the best they could get is a draw on current form. But I'm going to go for Fulham to win again on this one, 2-1.
I wouldn't overly disagree with you, but just on a hell of it I will. I think after 2 bad defeats, 2 defeats you would have nearly expected. We predicted Spurs to lose 2 games last week. And they did lose 2 games, and they're games you'd expect to lose. This is one that Conte needs to win, really, to arrest this kind of loss. They're in 5th place, but they're...
But what is bad as well, too, is his body language. In the last game against Arsenal...
He looks like a man that kind of wants his way out as well.
He was just like, there was no animation. And
he'll get a payout.
Just sitting there kind of accepting it, said, like, this is what they are, you know?
Rejoin Juventus for the 6th time or something, you know. Yeah. They'll be fine.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm going to go for a draw.
Okay.
I think they'll get the draw.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for a drink.
Yes, on that note, bombshell, we will say good night, Vienna.
Good luck.